Welcome back to the Toyota build. So first we're going to do the sound deadening. We've got some dodo mat, we're going to cut this up, put it on all the panels. What we've done is about 25% coverage, which is all that's required for a good sound insulation, good sound deadening. You can go more, but if you're trying to save costs, just get 25%, you'll be fine. Just so you can see the difference with the sound deadening, here's before and after. Much quieter. We're going to put these battens in under the floor. So these are 19.5 high planed battens, but the idea of this is so the floor is really secure and anything we attach to it is going to be solid. These battens are going to be glued down with a strong adhesive, so we don't have to drill through any of the floor, don't want any holes in the bottom of the van. Just put the sound deadening on the floor. Now we're applying the 7mm foam insulation, which also acts as a bit of a sound insulation in itself. This is the vapour barrier going in, and we want to keep this away from the beams so the floor will sit flush. So I'm just cutting out all the little areas around the supports. Before insulating the walls and lining these with the carpet, I'm going to make the ply panels that fit on top, just because it's easier to pattern it all now, so I know where it sits and I can create some supports, which I'll show you later on, to then screw it to, because it's quite hard to tell where it all sits flush at the moment. So got the old infills, which I'm going to use to pattern basically. Put that straight onto there and draw around, cut the bottom edge on, and then measure up and trim the top. First tested the old Clayton, see what it's got. Got the angle grinder plugged in, 600 watts. See how it does. No issues on the old Clayton. Works really well. Just cutting off a few protrusions for the floor. That's actually seatbelt anchors when this is a car setup. They use the same shells, so you've got all the points for the seatbelts. Obviously we don't have any of that, so just got to cut this other side now. Creating some little planking panels to put over these holes. These will be skewered in with some battens, and I'll insulate this pillar while I'm at it. now framing up the walls. These battens are going to be glued and screwed in place for extra strength. This is what the 6mm panels for the walls will attach to. All the framework's now in, and just before I insulate I'm going to put in some of the looms because I want them to be out of sight and not in the way. So what I've done is I've drilled a hole here and put a grommet in, which was actually on the old racking system. These grommets happened to have a hole saw that was exactly the right size. So I'm going to do loom roots. There's a couple of openings, so I'm going to go through there, out there into here, because I'm going to have a little shelf with a charger and light in. And then I'm going to go down here and come out here because it's going to be a unit here. I'm going to have a 12-volt socket in there for charging stuff outside, sort of thing. I've had to rearrange the factory looms, so I've put on these new cable ties and put it to the roof because it was light along here, which was right where the panel's going to go. So I've just reorganised those along the roof there. I'm just going to put these looms in. So I've made some new looms out of the old looms, which I detangled and organised over there. So I've got everything I need here, nice and neat. So I'm just going to thread this in. Frames are in, looms are in, both sides. Now for insulating. All insulated, floor insulated, the two rear walls insulated. I've left the twin doors out because they can be done at any time. And the ceiling is also going to be done at a later date because I'm going to do some funky bulkhead configuration arrangement. I want to do that before I fit the ceiling.